Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett possibly taking a leap forward and running for the U.S. Senate here in the state of Texas.
I don't know if you saw it, but there was new research on this race. And it found late last month that Congresswoman Crockett, she also has the highest unfavorable rating, and nearly half, 49%, said they would definitely not vote for her.
In polls, and we're going to take a look at a poll here shortly. We're going to take a look at the poll that they're referencing here after this. People don't like her. People don't like her. For the people who do like her, they like her. But most people don't. And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, you know one of the good things about doing this job as a YouTuber? I talk to my kids. I'm like, yo, my kids are like, I told my friends at school my dad's a YouTuber. That's a job now, y'all. Thank you. Thank you to everybody watching these videos. You've made me into a YouTuber. And one of the good things about talking about the type of topics that I talk about is you get to see the development of these topics. So, for example, started many moons ago talking about your girl, Jasmine Crockett, who you see on the screen right now. Started talking about her so many moons ago, and now we get to see the development of her career. At one time, she was the ratchet woman who would just come out and say anything out of her mouth. Then she became something of a Democratic folk hero because she's the ratchet girl who would say anything out of her mouth. They called her a fighter. And then she became the champion of the Texas Democrats who ran away out of the state to avoid redistricting. And then she found that, oh, my district has been redistricted away, and now I don't even have a district. And now she is apparently, as of just now, y'all, just in these days, she apparently is going to become an aspirant for the Democratic senatorship in the great state of Texas, y'all. So it looks like Representative Crockett is going to be running to become Senator Crockett. And it looks like she's also facing a lot of headwinds. I don't think the Democrats want her to do this, but her mouth done talked her into the opportunity, y'all. So we're going to be covering that today. This is all because the Supreme Court has allowed those redistricted districts, that new map, the Supreme Court has allowed it to stand even during a court challenge. So we're going to take a look at that as well. And we're going to take a look at a poll. You know, Crockett says she's a data-driven girl. She says, I follow the data. Well, we're going to take a look at the data. It doesn't look that good for her, actually. I don't know what data she's talking about, but the data doesn't look that good, y'all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. But before we do, y'all, we are launching our official Patreon. So if you want to be a founding member on our Patreon, we have just 222 slots, y'all. If you want to be a founding member, go down, click the very first link in the description, and you're going to feel good about this, y'all, because believe it or not, we are an actual paralegal school, and we help people get their paralegal certificate and get working in the paralegal field. And all of the proceeds from our Patreon, when you enroll as a founding member, all of that is going to go to scholarships for people who would like to study at our institute, y'all. So click that first link down in the description. Join us as a founding member, y'all. This deal will not come back. Now let's get into the story.
In a major update from the U.S. Supreme Court on that Texas redistricting case, you'll remember Republicans in the state, in an unusual mid-decade review, redrew the maps, the congressional maps, earlier this year. Let's get right to CNN Chief Supreme Court Analyst Joan Biskupic. Joan, what is the latest news from the U.S. Supreme Court?
Very big news, Jake, both politically and legally. The Supreme Court, the conservative majority over the dissent of the three liberals, has said that Texas can use the map that it drew last summer to provide potentially 5 new districts that could flip Republican and enhance the Republican majority in the U.S. House. And what they said is that a special U.S. District Court panel that had invalidated this map, saying it was drawn on unconstitutional racial lines, that Texas had actually divided people up by race. This district court had said that, and Texas had come up here and appealed it, backed by the Trump administration. Today, the Supreme Court majority said no, that this map deserved more deference from the district court. The district court should have taken into account a presumption of legislative good faith. That's been a standard that Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Samuel Alito have been really pushing over the years to sort of let states do what they want to do, even if there could be a cloud of racial division there. So you had the conservative majority essentially now locking in this new Texas map that you remember has triggered all this off-year redistricting throughout the country and at the goading of President Trump to shore up his majority.
So that was the Supreme Court decision that allowed the redistricted, the redrawn maps to go forward. And now, because Jasmine Crockett's district has been all chopped up and carved up, she's looking around and she's saying, well, a lot of the people in my district now weren't in my district last time. They didn't vote for me. I don't know them. They don't know me. So she's taking her talents to the Senate, y'all, or at least that's what she's attempting to do. So she's going to be running for Senate, but she's not running for Senate alone, y'all. There are other Democrats in the state of Texas that would like that place. And so this is going to come down to a battle of two different philosophies. The battle of expanding the coalition, which is what Crockett wants to do, or the battle which the other two Democrats are looking to do to be more moderate and to get some of the Republicans to come over and vote for them. Either way, it's going to be difficult because Democrats have a difficult time winning Senate in the state of Texas. So Crockett is going to go radical and try to get more radical people to join her and say, yeah, I wasn't going to vote, but look how ratchet and radical Crockett is. Let's go vote for her. So she wants to ignite that radical ratchet fire in people to get them out to vote. While her two opponents for the Democratic primary, they're like, we're going to be more moderate and see if we can get some more moderate, so more reasonable people to vote for us, y'all.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett possibly taking a leap forward and running for the U.S. Senate here in the state of Texas. So what's changed? She has now scheduled an announcement, that's all we know, for Monday afternoon. With that, let's get right to Eye on Politics reporter Jack Fink in the newsroom. I know you're working the sources. You got good ones. What are you hearing?
Well, Doug, Democrats I've spoken with today tell me they believe Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is definitely going for it. Her announcement is set in the city of Dallas at 4:30 p.m. Monday, an hour and a half before the state's deadline for candidates to file their campaign paperwork. Crockett has told me that she would only run statewide for U.S. Senate if polling she commissioned shows she can win a general election by expanding the electorate and attracting new voters. History, though, has shown it is an uphill climb for any Democrat to win statewide in Texas because that hasn't happened in more than 30 years. Before Crockett can run in a general election, she has to win the primary, and she will have to beat her fellow Democrats. Former Dallas Congressman Colin Allred, who ran statewide last year and attracted some Republicans, and State Representative James Talarico, who's shown he can raise a record amount of money and generate national headlines. Republicans are already expressing excitement for a likely Crockett run in the Senate because they don't believe she can win a general election. Senator John Cornyn is fighting off Attorney General Ken Paxton and Congressman Wesley Hunt of Houston in the GOP primary. Electability will likely be a key, if not the key issue in the Democratic primary. And that's because analysts have said they believe Allred and Talarico will make the arguments that they can win over not only independents, but also Republicans.
Now, in this next segment, you're actually going to see the leader of a PAC, a political action committee that supports Democratic candidates. He's going to address should we call it the elephant in the room? Let's call it the elephant in the bathroom, because this is a big elephant in a little room, y'all. The elephant in the room is that Jasmine Crockett really is not, she doesn't have great favorability. In other words, in polls, and we're going to take a look at a poll here shortly. We're going to take a look at the poll that they're referencing here after this. People don't like her. People don't like her. For the people who do like her, they like her. But most people don't, go figure. So that could be a problem when you're trying to get elected to the Senate.
I don't know if you saw it, but there was new research on this race that came out yesterday, and we're talking on Wednesday. And it's from Change Research, and it found late last month that Congresswoman Crockett is the most well-known of the Democrats, Talarico and Allred, in the state, which probably doesn't come as a surprise to anybody. But she also has the highest unfavorable rating, and nearly half, 49%, said they would definitely not vote for her. Is that going to be a problem for her?
Well, it's a challenge. It's whenever you become more well known, you're going to be able to bring people who agree with you and expose yourself to people who don't agree with you. And so it doesn't surprise me, certainly, that she's the most well known. She's on TV more than any other elected Democrat probably in the state. Also, she's a person who holds her opinions passionately and is willing to speak her mind. Some people like that, some people don't.
If she does get into the race, and if she were to win the primary and become the Democratic nominee, is she going to energize Republicans?
She could. I think that that's the real challenge, is for her to be able to increase turnout for not just her race, but for other Democrats without motivating Republicans. Now, I will tell you that, I've been doing politics in Texas a long time. Republicans don't have much to brag about at any level. And I'm not sure that being upset with one or two Democrats is going to overcome the fact that they're profoundly disappointed with the Republican leadership that's failing them.
And so you don't see that as you do see that as a challenge for her, and all of her past statements are going to probably come back in commercials, etc. And you don't see that as a...
Oh, it could be, make no mistake. But I assume she says, and I believe that she's done a lot of research. I hope that they've tested some of the things that the Republicans might use. Because if you're going to run in a competitive environment, you got to not only test the things that people like about you, but the things they don't like about you.
And you think she's done that?
I hope that she has. And I believe that she has diligently gone about doing the research. So I'd assume it would include those.
So this is the Change Research Texas Senate early findings for 2026. If you take a look, Jasmine Crockett has a 33% favorable and a 40% unfavorable, y'all. So her unfavorable is higher of all the Democrats. She's the only one who has a higher unfavorable rating that's higher than her favorable rating. Colin Allred is 31% favorable and 28% unfavorable. So more favorable than unfavorable. That's not great, but it's a decent starting ground. And James Talarico has 25% favorable to 9% unfavorable. Now, that's pretty good. But Jasmine Crockett, a lot of people have heard of her. A lot of people have heard of your girl. And a lot of people just don't like what they're hearing. Now, let's take a look. So if we just narrow it down to the people who have heard of her. So let's get rid of all the people who don't know who you are and just focus on the people who do know who you are. Still, she's underwater. Again, she's the only one with higher unfavorability, higher than favorable. And she, as you can see here, she's a -8. So James Talarico was a +30. Colin Allred is a +3. And she's a -8, a -8. So she says she's a data-driven girl, y'all. She must have some tricks up. Maybe she's a data-driven magician, because she obviously believes she has some tricks up her sleeve, y'all, with these types of numbers. I'm surprised it's not worse, though, y'all. I mean, she's ratchet. What else can we say? So, y'all, looks like your girl, Jasmine Crockett, she's going to be running for Senate. They say she has an announcement coming up in a couple of days. She hasn't announced it yet, but it looks like that's the direction she's going. Democrats don't want her. We've covered this in many videos before. I'm talking about the Democratic establishment, but they understand that the way she puts her stuff together, she's going to attract a certain subset, should we call them a subculture of people who are going to like her approach, and the Democrats don't want to step on those people's toes. So they aren't going hard against Crockett, but you better believe they've already sabotaged her many times before. She's already become disillusioned with the Democratic Party. You know that the Democratic Party is anything but democratic. They will get rid of you by hook or by crook if they have to. Y'all, I don't know. I don't see her becoming the nominee. And even if she were, the person who would become the nominee based on her political maneuvering, her skills, her rhetoric, her whatever connection with the voters, I don't think the Democrats want her, y'all. So that's my take. If she announces she's running for Senate, which it looks like she will do, I think they're going to sabotage her. If she has any shot, I think the Democrats are going to sabotage her. That's my take. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Drop a comment below. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. I want to thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.